lesson from Bruce every Saturday.
Isn't it the best?
I love it. So I learn a bit about Delta and learn a lot about Maurice McCartan. So we get into the mounting yard for race 8. This is the Chelmsford Stakes, won by some of the absolute greats of the turf. Lizzie, let's start with Numerian.
Yeah, he looks great, Richo. He looks very forward in condition, and I think that he's going to run a much better race than I anticipated first up into the campaign. He's a bit of a smoky, isn't he, after winning the Gosford Cup and the Q22 at the end of last preparation, and he looks very much forward, fresh and flighty. We've seen him earlier on, but he looks in great order. This is Knight's Order.
The Sydney Cup winners strutting around, Katie, ready to go first up.
Yeah, I think he will be ready to go too. Of course, last preparation he ran third first up. That was in the Randwick City at listed level. He'll go forward. He loves the conditions. No doubt he'll be rock hard fit from Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott, and Timmy Clark already with a winner. So I think he's a good chance. Stockman Bruce, well, he's done the rain dance all morning. He'd be wrapped with the conditions.
He's a swimmer, Katie. He loves it. And look, he went to another level by being second in the Tancred behind Jewis, didn't he? He's a good, tough customer. He ran well first up. So he's in the mix. What about Kukaracha, Richo?
Well, heavy track, he gets a tick, but he probably needs a little further, doesn't he? He's first up since June. He won the Tails Stakes on a heavy track, but this is a heavy 10 track now, so that's going to be the concern for him. 6 is a scratching. Lizzie, 7, Crystal Pegasus.
Did a great job last preparation, didn't he, winning 3 straight, and then at the end of that prep he ran in the Sydney Cup on a heavy 10 track. This is a good kick-off point for him. He looks very well, he parades nicely, he's pretty much as forward as you possibly can be for him first up into the campaign over the mile. There is a little bit of improvement still left in him, so he will be improving as the distances get longer and as there are more races he gets under his belt. This is on Tont. He likes to get up on speed and make his own luck. He probably didn't have the best preparation last prep, but he was tried in some pretty tough races. The Ranvet was one of them, and the Randwick City Stakes as well. So it's an idea to see how he is this time around, but he is usually better with a run underneath his belt.
One of the more interesting runners of the day, Surefire. Royal Ascot winners, won 2 out of 4 in Australia. If he wins brilliantly today or runs very well, he's going to be up the top of the Caulfield Cup markets, I reckon. Does he go Metropolitan or Caulfield Cup, or which way does Chris go? Wait for age, so thrown a bit in the deep end, but he's a short price favourite, and I can see why. No compromise, he's a good horse, Richo. And
also, he likes rain-affected tracks, so that's why he's my roughie in the race. He's second up from a spell, solid run first up, 1,600 metres, suits him perfectly. We know that he can get up towards 2 miles. What sort of race will he run? You can imagine Metrop would be another race that he would be targeting as well. Isn't that going to be a red-hot race? We can scratch 11 and 12, and we get to Allegron, who's placed in a VRC Derby, placed in a ATC Derby, 4th in a South Australian Derby.
And he does like it wet. I'd imagine that he'll certainly run well today. I can't probably see him winning the race, but it wouldn't shock me to see him winning the race, because he's got so much ability on his side. And this is No Compromise's half-brother, Benno. We won't miss him, will we? Because he's a bright grey and he ran super first up in the Group 1 Wing.
Grey on a heavy 10, Bruce, surely.
Well, he ran second in a derby on a heavy 9. I think Richie Benno won a test on a sticky wicket with his leg spins. Anyway, he's a big chance, Kate. You can see why. Ben, I dribbled a bit there, but I'm going to get to you with a flurry.
Thank you. I'll take over. Surefire is our favourite and has been pretty well supported, but I think punters really struggling. You know you need to be with an on-speed runner, but who is it? Entente is the outsider in the field, probably goes forward. Surefire, maybe they take a punt from 11. Numerian's led but over further. Knight's Orders led but over further in the past. It's been a big firmer, so even post-deductions, you're talking high 30s, about $38 into $7, but there's hardly a Zach with tab, so there must be other reasons for that. Benno $7, Stockman's been a firmer $9, Allegron $12, and then 19 or more the remainder without too much interest in any of them. But Surefire is easily the best backed runner here, guys.
All right, speed map point of view, Katie, how's this race going to be run and won?
Yeah, I think that they will roll along at just a nice tempo on this. Of course, a lot of these horses are sort of first or second up, so I think Knight's Order is the likely leader from out there. Entente won't be too far away, although I just don't think that Entente really likes it so heavy, but I think that he's just a speed runner, so he'll naturally get there of his own accord. I think Crystal Pegasus and Nemurian, they won't be too far away from the speed either, but they should just go along at a nice tempo, I think.
Who is the Lizzie like for the Chelmsford?
I like Numerian. I think he is returned in really nice shape, Richo. He looks forward enough in condition. I do think Surefire presents really nicely, so he's also in the mix as the market would suggest, but there's nothing between them on looks. Numerian looks great, so does Surefire. I'm going the way of Numerian with a little bit more value, and hopefully he can be a race-to-race double for Annabelle Neesham.
Well, Chris Waller's got such a strong hand in the race, and we look at Surefire here. He's won 6 of the last 10 of these, Chris Waller, but do you know what? I don't think he's got any hope of catching TJ Smith. Have a look at this. He won this race 16 times. So this is the most feature race wins by any trainer. So we call this a feature. It's got history, 127 years. It's a Group 2. It's been won by Farlap and Winks. It's got to be a feature race. So in the history of Australian racing, TJ won this 16 times. And then you look at the next 4, Bart and TJ swap with Wakeful's and O'Shea's Australian Cup flight. There are quite a few 12s, but we picked the biggest of them all, the Melbourne Cup. So Chris Waller's got 10 to go to catch Tommy. God, he was a phenomenon. This is Gay Waterhouse's very famous father. And he's got the short price favourite here in Chris Waller. I might take those odds if you're saying to me that he can't get another 10. Bruce, I might get you to frame a market. I wouldn't mind backing him. He just got the perfect types of horses. I've got one of his as my roughie in the race in No Compromise, but Surefire is the short price favourite. Surefire and Numerian are heading towards a Caulfield Cup, we think, and that'd be, Bruce, right towards the top of the markets in Caulfield Cups at the moment. Well, I think certainly, no, Surefire, I reckon if he wins this is favourite for the Caulfield Cup. Depends a bit with Mr Bright. So, Lizzie, do you have any inside knowledge about which way these 2 horses might head?
No, I don't, unfortunately, Bruce. We'll have to find out a little bit after the race, but when you look back and you've spoken about the history of the Chelmsford, it is quite remarkable, some of the horses that have won this race. You've got horses like Lonro, who has won the race twice before, a horse like Galantest, who went on to win Group 1s, and it really is a race where it sets up a lot of horses' preparation. So we might be seeing some nice horses taking their place, and there's so much to like about Surefire and Numerian, because they're almost untapped potential in great form. So looking forward to seeing how this all unfolds. We could see some stars taking their place after today's run.
It's a good point. Look, it's certainly going to be a launch for these 2. Katie, I don't know what James... Oh, he doesn't talk to you, does he? Except... you don't talk racing, that's what I won't ask you, okay.
Yeah. I probably won't tell you either.
But I'm going to ask you anyway. When he came back after Surefire's first win, I was rapt. I thought, God, this horse has gone to another level. Did he give you a scrap about the horse?
No,
anything?
No, he actually didn't. He didn't speak about
So
Surefire
you are such
at
a
all.
spoil sport. Just make it up.
You know, I can't even make it up. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Bruce, he was glowing in praise for Surefire. Benno's the interesting one, Bruce. Remember last week when Katie and I had a chat to John O'Shea, and I said, I loved his first run. Metrop into a Caulfield Cup. Lizzie and I have had something as our top selection at Caulfield Cup, and he shot us down, said, oh no, Metrop would be the end for him. I'm hoping Benno keeps surprising him.
Well, if he wins today, then he might have another thought. I mean, the Metropolitan is, what, $1 million? I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that. Caulfield Cup's $5 million. So, you know, he's a gelding. I would have... Oh, John knows what he's doing. But if he wins today, then he'd have to be thinking a little bit about the big race at Caulfield.
$250,000 up for grabs here. It is the Chelmsford. Who is the hot horse?
The hottest horse in terms of weight of money is Surefire, but we'll go with Stockman, who's actually the second best backed runner in the race here.
The Wet Tracker. The punters have come for Stockman, the Wet Tracker, which has been supported. Surefire, favourite in the Chelmsford, James McDonald in the saddle. He won it on Hartnell back in 2016.
2 over a mile. Surefire the favourite. Hoffman Racing. There's a terrific line out. Knight's Order was one of the first into stride. Going forward is Kukaracha, No Compromise, handy and on Toncourt pretty deep, rolling forward. They're followed then by Numerian on the inside of Crystal Pegasus. Back in the field, Benno from Stockman. A leg run, and the favourite Surefire from the wide gate has been eased back to the tail of the field. Clark found the front on Knight's Order, and the stablemate on Tont in second and pulling under restraint there by Pass, and Knight's Order gets a soft lead up front. Two further back to No Compromise into a clear third in front of Kukaracha. They're followed by Numerian, who settles midfield, the fence in advance of Crystal Pegasus. Then came the grey Benno from Allegron from Stockman, and last of all is Surefire moving into a three-wide position now, looking for some cover. Down the side of the 800 metres, and the Sydney Cup winner makes the running here, Knight's Order, out by a length to one tighter. Two further back to No Compromise, and a forward roll from Kukaracha. Then came Numerian. Further back to Crystal Pegasus. Benno is creeping into the race deeper out. Surefire getting under his back, being reined along a bit, followed by a leg runner, and Stockman in a tricky spot last. Knight's Order really upping the tempo, and Clark's gone for home, turning into the straight. It's Knight's Order racing, 4 lengths clear from No Compromise, knuckling down in second. Numerian gets going with a good run. Benno to the outside, 2:50 to go. Knight's Order 2 lengths clear from Numerian, and No Compromise grinding away. Knight's Order with 1:50 to go, still a length and a half clear from Numerian and No Compromise. It's Knight's Order, the Sydney Cup winner, is going all the way here in the Chelmsford Stakes. Knight's Order won it by a length to Numerian. No Compromise third. Benno got home well into fourth. A good gap back to Stockman, Allegron, Crystal Pegasus, Kukaracha. Surefire never a factor today. And on Toddy went toe-to-toe with the winner, has finished a long last.
It was a good ride. I mean, we're saying that a lot today, but it was a good ride. This horse, his last 4 wins have been over 2,400 or 3,200. 2 at 2,400 and 2 at 3,200. It just shows you what sort of horse you have to win today over the Randwick Mile. He's a Brisbane Cup winner. He's more importantly a Sydney Cup winner. He's got his spring off to a good start, Lizzie. I mean, Surefire just didn't handle the ground at all. I mean, he dipped and waved. Benno was good. Numerian was very good. But, Lizzie, you make sense of it all. I'm happy Knight's Order's won. He's going to have a good spring. He'll probably get to the first Tuesday of November, you'd think.
Absolutely. I think when you can look back in hindsight on all of these races and you're seeing really good rides, you're seeing rides where they know that they can't make a lot of ground up. So Knight's Order, he was fit and forward first up. Tim Clark utilised his gait, he made him do the work, and of course he was extremely tough to the line, but it was just so hard for any horses behind them to get any traction and finish over the top of them. So a really big tick for Numerian, a tick for No Compromise. I thought Benno was probably the run of the race, coming from as far back as he did on a track that he probably didn't love, but he got through quite nicely. And Surefire, well, he might not be as sharp second up now, but he certainly didn't enjoy those conditions. So there's a few forgives in behind, lots of positives for Knight's Order, and especially Numerian and Benno.
So Gai Waterhouse and Adrian Bott get a double today, and ditto for Tim Clark and Knight's Order. Onwards and upwards throughout all the spring features. Would it be a Caulfield Cup into a Melbourne Cup? What is the plan for Knight's Order? Numerian, terrific Caulfield Cup point of view. No Compromise. The rough he handles the wet track. He loves that. Gee, Katie, your selection, Benno. I'm so keen to keep following him this spring. Me too. I love the way that he came from behind, and he was, as Lizzie said, he was brilliant, wasn't he? The only horse that really made up solid amount of ground. Surefire was okay, but he just definitely didn't love the conditions at all. And Stockman, well, he's meant to love the conditions, but he didn't really run on at all, did he? He's finished right next to him. So, yeah, all honours to Knight's Order. He's just tough, he's brave. Tim Clark with a double, as well as Gai and Adrian, and their stable is building into the spring. For Gai, she won the race in 2010 on Thesio. It was a brilliant weight for age horse, and the Mighty Juggler in 97. She produces her Sydney Cup horse to be able to win today and do it in style first up. Look at that grey coming down the outside. His name is Benno. Talking about greys, there's been no faster grey than that. What a ripper. The Mighty Chautauqua. Moonee Valley Racing paid tribute to Chautauqua next.